Today, I want to announce a transition in the format of this podcast. As you may know, I launched this about a year ago as a way to share past church sermons that I delivered. I've shared 63 sermons in all, and I'm so pleased with the feedback that I've received, and I pray that they've been a blessing to those who've heard. I encourage you, if you haven't done so, to go back and listen to either maybe one of them or all of them. I just released my final sermon last week, and I've been planning the direction to take going forward. The title of my podcast is Embrace What Matters. This is based on the book that I published through Zondervan back in 2015. The title, 365 Devotions to Embrace What Matters Most. The book was grounded in a Christian spiritual worldview, but it wasn't so much of a Bible study as it was a conversation that you might have with a friend over coffee. One of the breakdowns Christians sometimes have in explaining why their faith is important to them is what I would call the separation of church and life. We attend worship, we read scripture, but many don't understand that God's presence is meant to reach out into all areas of our life. Our family, our workplace, our hobbies, what entertains us, how we engage society or our government, how we reach out to strangers or those in need, and even those we disagree with. That's what my last book attempted to do, to bridge the things of eternity with everyday experience. And that's the focus I'd like the podcast to take going forward. And so, I'm going to produce episodes that include both individual meditations followed up by conversations with others. The meditations will coincide with the themes of a new book I'll be releasing, which explores how we can experience God's kingdom and eternity in the here and now. I'll be speaking about how we can relate to God in nature or through the arts. I'll discuss our journey of spiritual transformation and change. I'll explore how to let go of what doesn't matter and how to embrace what does. I'll talk about how our weaknesses aren't something to be ashamed of, but are actually the doorway to experiencing victory. I'll explore the benefits and challenges of doing life with others. I'll talk about how our plans aren't usually God's plans, and how those plans might come together. And finally, I'll discuss how experiencing things like pain, suffering, and death in this life can prepare us for our eternal destination. As mentioned, my plan is to follow up each of these meditations with a conversation. I'll be speaking with musicians, pastors, authors, parachurch ministers, philosophers, missionaries, screenwriters, and so on. The main focus will be to get together with people who embrace what matters and are making a difference in the world around them. But we'll also try to shape our conversation around the theme that I present in the previous meditation. As for frequency, I'll be shifting from releasing weekly episodes to likely 2 episodes a month. My hope is to launch the first new episode in the coming weeks. So, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this podcast in your app of choice so that you'll be notified as each new episode is released. Please rate and review the podcast and share it on social media, as this helps others discover it too. And please, say a prayer for me as I jump into this new territory of communication. Pray that God will use the podcast to reach those who need the encouragement and guidance that I hope to bring. Thank you so much to those who have stuck with me this far. I am truly excited about where we're headed.